Hi everyone! So today we are going to be doing some concrete poetry for our poetry unit. I'm not in class today, so I'm just going to be recording this video and you guys are going to be writing your poetry along with me. So first let's start off with a definition of concrete poetry. I have this document open here that you can see, but you also have access to it on Google Classroom as well. Concrete poetry is the use of words and their physical formation to convey meaning. This meaning may be done with color, the shape of the letters, and/or the arrangement of words. Samples below show some of the many variations available. So we can see these two examples of concrete poetry right away. We see these scissors and we see this shoe. I really like the shoe. I think it's cool. Um, it's very simple and it says I like sneakers, leather sneakers, squeaky sneakers, old, worn. I've got a lot of these really great adjectives describing sneakers in this shoe. But clearly we have these words that together contribute to an image that represents the topic of the poetry. So you will be doing one of these poems. You're welcome to do more than one if you would like. And this is going to require that you actually are using paper and a pen or pencil today, possibly both. So if you need any of those materials, feel free to ask the substitute teacher for those materials. If you guys look up at the front of the classroom, there is a paper box with a bunch of colored paper. You guys are always welcome to that, so feel free to use that later if you would like to stand up very quietly and respectfully, of course, and grab some paper that you can use for today's assignment. So to start, we need to come up with our topic. Our topic for our concrete poetry should be something that can be represented in an image. So students tend to really enjoy writing concrete poetry about pets and sports. The reason that those are so popular are not only that they are common favorites of students, but they also have really strong imagery associated with them. So for example, if I were, I don't know, a baseball fan, which I am, and I wanted to write my poem about baseball, I could write my poem and then arc the words of my poem so that it made it into the shape of a baseball with the outside of the baseball in, that perfect circle shape, and then the stitches, the seams of the baseball so that it shows exactly what that sport looks like. Or I could even do it in the shape of home plate or anything like that. If I were to try to write about a pet bird, I could write my poetry so the words are going, up the tail, over the back and the head, and down the beak of the bird so that you can see the image of a bird as you're reading the words that represent your concrete poetry. So we need to start by coming up with a topic. These topics are scissors, shoe, and there is another one. This is a little bit different. We're not going to be doing this style of concrete poetry today, but you are welcome to do that on your own if you would like. This style is where you just use the first letter of the thing you're talking about, and I don't think it's quite as dynamic. So we're going to be doing one that looks a lot more like this shoe. That's going to be our structure. So go ahead and take a minute and write down 5 possibilities of topics that you might like to write about. I'm going to do mine on this piece of paper and then I will pause this video and you are going to type in your 5 responses on this ed puzzle. So some of the options that I could write about, I already said baseball. I love baseball, so I think that would be really fun to write a poem about. I'm also incredibly obsessed with my kittens right now that are in my backyard. So I think my kittens could be a cool topic for my poem. I really like Harry Potter, so that's always a go-to for me. I could write my poem about Harry Potter, anything like that, and then maybe put it in the shape of Harry Potter's scar or a broomstick, something like that. I'm really into roller skating right now. That's something I'm trying to learn to do, so I think that would be kind of a cool topic. And let's come up with one more possible topic. Well, I'm getting married, so maybe my wedding could be a poetry topic. I could write my poem in the shape of a wedding dress, or I could write my poem in the shape of maybe some rings, like wedding bands. I think that would be kind of cool. Okay, so I have my options and I want to pick one I'm going to pick one that's fairly simple just for this example. You're welcome to keep it as simple or make it as complex as you would like, but I think I'm gonna go for Harry Potter. It's popular and it'll be easy for me to write. So once I've picked my topic, actually, while you guys are picking your topics, go ahead and type in the 5 options that you came up with and then put a little asterisk or maybe an exclamation mark next to the one that you have chosen for your actual image that you will be creating in class today. Go ahead and answer that now. Excellent. Now that we have chosen our topics, hopefully you guys had time to pause and really think about it. We're going to now start writing some poetry about that topic. So for Harry Potter, I want to just comment on the things I know about Harry Potter and the things that make it kind of magical to me. Of course, I want to use that word magical. That's definitely going to be a great starting place for me. So Harry Potter to me is magical. It is also about friendship. When I think about Harry Potter, I also think about standing up for what's right. I can think about some of the images in Harry Potter. Maybe I'll go through the books. So, like, I could say, like, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone. So I could say stone, and that grants everlasting life. I could say the chamber from the Chamber of Secrets, which is like depths of mystery and danger. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So I'm going to go through the rest of the books and kind of write out some lines that refer to each of these. As I'm writing my lines, feel free to brainstorm your own and write your own words or phrases that make you think about your topic that you have picked. All right, I've got some words here that I actually really like. I like this section here. You can kind of keep going with what is working and maybe what's not. I've decided that I don't like this beginning line as much as I thought I did at first. I do like standing up for what's right, but maybe I could start it instead with something about the story itself. So, a story of, how about The Boy Who Lived? And then I kind of want to cap it at the end. I am talking about each of the books here, but I've got this line at the beginning, and maybe I want to do something at the end that also talks about the story in general, maybe about the lessons it teaches us. All right. All right, I like that. All right. So I've got some words in the middle that I threw down that I decided I don't actually want to keep. I put something at the beginning and something at the end that kind of bookend this poem for me. And I also have some content in the middle. So now that I've got some drafts here, what I want to do is I want to switch to a piece of blank paper. It can be plain white or it can be a colored paper. So go ahead and take a quick break now and go get your piece of paper if you don't have one already. All right, so hopefully we now all have our paper. Now it's time to actually draw our shape. We're going to do it very gently. We don't want to put our pencil lines down too far because we actually will be erasing them later. We're going to use our words that we put on our sketch paper and we're going to put it all around our shape. So for me, I am going to use the really famous glasses of Harry Potter, and I will be using his scar. Alright, so I really gently sketched out the image of the glasses and the scar from Harry Potter, and now all I need to do is take my words from my sketch paper and draw them, or sorry, write them in pen around these lines, and then I will erase the pencil that's left. I'm going to do this on super fast forward motion so you guys can at least see the process, but I definitely don't want you just sitting here because it'll probably take me like a good, I don't know, 10 minutes to do this. So we'll see. Write it in pen and please try to make it as neat as possible. I know that not all of you have great handwriting, so try to really take your time on this, and I will pause in the middle because I imagine there's going to get to a point where my words don't line up perfectly with my space, and I'll talk about some ways to fix that. So this is the point that I was worried about a little bit. So I was definitely worried that I wasn't going to have enough room on this shape, and I was right. I made it to my 6th book, so I still have 2 more lines, and I don't have enough room. So I have some options. I can either add another shape somewhere in here. I could, for example, add on like the actual the like eye hooks for his glasses, or I could add in another shape. I think I'm simply going to add in another shape. For Harry Potter, another really common and famous shape is called the Deathly Hallows. It is a triangle, circle, and a line. And so I am going to be doing that. I'm going to separate it out because I think that sounds artistic to me. So I'll try and the line. I do think that's interesting, and I'd be curious how many people would understand what I'm referencing just with that. So I think that's how I'm going to pull off fitting in my last line of this poem. Okay, and there's my concrete poem. Depending on how beautifully you want to make this, you are welcome to redo it. Once you've got the basic idea, move your letters around, move your words around. My very last step is going to be to erase these lines. So once again, I'll zoom through this part, but I do want you to see the process. I think it looks okay actually. So that is my example. Go ahead and work on your own. You will have some time in class next week to work on these, so please make sure you keep them in your backpacks with you so you can continue to work on them. This ed puzzle is due today, so make sure you get this part finished and submitted, and then you can finish the actual poem. It'll be due next Friday, so, or Thursday or Friday, depending which day you come to school. So go for it. Good job, and please email me if you have any questions. I will see you guys next week.